Please take your seats. The meeting is about to begin. Remember to speak into the microphone, as this meeting is being recorded for public record. Please stand by. We are going on air in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today is July 15th. I am accompanied by my good friend and colleague, Commissioner Alex Fernandez and Commissioner Bott. Maria, do we have any announcements to make?
Mr. Chair, if I may, there is one announcement, item number 7, which is the I-1 zoning district helipad item is being deferred to a future meeting.
Okay. All right. Excuse me? Yeah. By acclamation, can we defer the item? Commissioner Bott? Yeah. Approved.
And just for the record, we did have one supplemental item, that's item number 8, that is on the agenda today.
Okay. Let's start with item number 1.
Okay, Mr. Chair, item number 1 is discuss a proposed amendment to the RS2 Single-Family Residential District requirements and the land development regulations to allow a tennis court as a main permitted use where the tennis court was previously approved as an accessory use to a single-family home. This particular item is very narrow, the way it has been drafted. It would apply to an existing tennis court only that is not currently part of a single-family property within the RS2 zoning district. There's one particular property that we have identified that this would apply to. It's somewhat of a unique situation where the planning board in 1998 approved a lot split. So previous to the lot split, it was actually a single-family residence. It was a double lot that combined that had an accessory tennis court. When the lot was split, the properties were sold to different owners, and there was never a condition in that planning board order from 98 to discontinue the tennis court use. However, because it's not a main permitted use in the RS2 zoning district, it became non-conforming and basically illegal to operate. So what this would do is this would permit the use of the tennis court, but only by the owner of the tennis court. So it would prohibit any commercialization of this property, but it would allow whoever owns it to play tennis.
Mr. Chair.
Commissioner.
I've been at this site. I've seen this lot. I think this is good because usually, we get concerned about the size of new homes. Sometimes you'll get a new construction there that might be out of scale with the character of the surrounding areas. And to the extent that you want to be able to promote open space and that type of stuff, this seems to me to be a simple request. It's something that has existed for a long time. It doesn't seem to be incompatible with the area, and something that I feel comfortable with if the chair is willing to entertain a motion.
You can make a motion.
Yeah, I'll move the item.
I'll second. We can resolve this by acclamation? Yeah. Okay, let's do item number 8 with the supplemental.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair. This item is discuss and consider amendments to the City of Miami Beach land development regulations to allow for the temporary construction, staging, and parking where appropriate to mitigate the impacts of major public construction projects and traffic and parking. This was a dual referral to land use and the planning board. Staff has provided an analysis. This is, again, a somewhat narrow item that would be limited to construction projects that are either temporarily removing on-street parking, impeding travel lanes, or impeding the use of parking lots. So what this would allow is for staging to occur off-site from the construction project itself. It would be limited to non-single-family residential districts, and we did put some conditions in to safeguard neighbors from these type of staging areas. So that is what we're recommending. The safeguards would include a security plan that our police department would review that could have fencing and security cameras. And we would require that immediately upon certificate of completion for the construction project, that staging area be eliminated from the off-site property. And we're comfortable with this moving forward, should the committee agree.
Commissioner?
This is an item I place on the agenda because during construction, oftentimes staging not only takes up parking spaces, it also limits general public spaces with all the equipment and all the materials they need to have on site. If there are empty construction sites that can temporarily accommodate this, then I think we do good by everyone. And I'm happy to move the item.
Second.
By acclamation, that's approved.
Yes. Okay, let's call number 4.
Okay, item number 4 is discuss beautifying the flyover bridge located at the intersection of the MacArthur Causeway to 5th Street and South Beach. This was requested by Commissioner Alex Fernandez, and I believe our Public Works Department is here to address the committee.
Mr. Chair, this is an item I placed last year on the agenda, the request of the West Avenue neighborhood, is that the pedestrian level, when you cross under that underpath at the pedestrian level, has often been unsightly, it's not often welcoming. And the request of the residents of the area is simple, maintain the area landscape to maybe have some uplighting and the consideration of any public art maybe that can be incorporated, or some, simple murals that could be incorporated into that space, just to make it a little bit less intimidating when you're crossing under an overpath. So simple request. I don't know if we can recognize Kara from our Public Works Department to present on the item.
Sure, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Oh, the mic needs to be on.
Let's try that. There we go. Good afternoon. I turned it off. Kara Boyles, Assistant Director and City Engineer for Public Works. Yes, Commissioner, this item, we have only done some preliminary discussions internally about the item, but our next step, if those are the types of items we're looking for, like you said, architectural lighting, any sort of public art, decorative type of treatments, maybe additional landscaping, those types of items, we would need to start, our next step be an engagement with FDOT, potentially the county, depending on who claims review jurisdiction for that area. We know it is FDOT right-of-way, but with the interaction with the, like you said, at the street level, then the county would probably be involved in that review as well.
Okay. What do you need from the committee? Could you come back to the committee and perhaps, let's say September, October, with maybe some recommendations? If you need more time than just September, November, whatever.
I think we could have a preliminary conversation with FDOT to determine what type of approvals this would take. Something would be, and we could be very general about it, like I said, about what do you think about these types of improvements, and then what type of improvements would not be allowed. I would assume that if we want to hang anything or do anything that would involve structural changes, they would probably not be amenable to that. But so we could find out what's approvable. If we had an idea or wanted to start to look at what would a concept be, then our
specifically, I think residents want to see at minimum lighting, perhaps some uplighting, I've heard. Additionally, keeping the area landscape, because right now it feels kind of barren.
They do have uplighting.
From what the residents have told me, there's.
Yeah. In fact, I actually called the other day because it was on during the day.
Oh, it was.
But it
That's
shouldn't
right.
be.
That's right.
But under
there
the
was
bridge?
a light, yeah.
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 Okay.
But
But-
if we can, I love the idea. Maybe have a mural on maybe the the pillars or on the sides. That would be really nice.
Okay.
And the landscaping, because
They just redid the landscape.
they redid the landscaping? Okay, good. That is a good thing. So work has happened since the introduction of the referral to now.
True, that's
Okay.
true, yes. since
Good.
last year.
So I think, I think we can.
It could be a lot better though.
What's that?
It could be a lot better.
It could be better. Yeah, I think we can, I'm happy to withdraw the item. Maybe we can work directly.
Absolutely.
Your office with my office, maybe we can have a meeting with Tim and the residents from Sobey West,
Perfect.
to discuss, the improvements that you feel we can do. And if we need then any commission action, we can take it to commission. But if we can do it, just have a meeting and solve it without having to create more paperwork and send more things through committees and through commission, I think we'll be more efficient that way.
Great, you do that.
All right, so happy to close this item.
Great. Number 5, please.
Number 5 is monthly updates on historic hotel redevelopment on Collins Avenue between 14th Street and 20th Street, including an overview of pending permits and progress updates from development teams. Before, I know, at the last meeting, the committee had requested a representative from the Raleigh Hotel Project be in attendance today. They are here. But I just wanted to let you know that staff has monitored all of the properties that are on this list. We have some good news to report. The Delano Hotel, obviously, I think most people know, has opened. It's beautiful and very vibrant. The Royal Palm Hotel also just recently, I think 2 days ago, received a TCO. So they're starting to train their staff and finalize their operations so that they can open to the public. So we're very excited about that as well. And with that,
So
I'm
what's
happy
going on
to
with the
answer
Raleigh?
questions.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the Land Use Committee. Alfredo Gonzalez with Greenberg Traurig on behalf of Nala Raleigh Capital, the new owners of the Raleigh project site. I give you a quick update. The Raleigh just traded hands. It was sold at the end of 2025. My client acquired it. I know that back in February, the committee had this item discussed, and there was concerns about the conditions of the Raleigh structure leading into hurricane season. I can tell you that the new owners had the same concern as of when they started inspecting the site in December. They immediately started looking how they could protect the building. I have some pictures of before and after. So what I can tell you is that as of May 1st, a month before hurricane season, the building was completely braced, shored, and protected. There's ongoing work on the site, so you should know that. And I just want to take one quick step back because the Raleigh is part of three properties. There's the Raleigh, the Richmond, the South Seas. They're all one combined development site, and it's traded. This is the 5th owner in 14 years. The Raleigh building has been in that condition for 9 years. It started when Tom Hilfinger pulled the permit 3 ownerships ago, back in 2017. But the good news is that the work is ongoing. They're continuing to work to shore up the building. I can tell you there's the permanent foundation work is happening as we speak. We've been working with the planning department, building department, the city, and making sure that everything needs to be done gets approved. We're looking at having structural strengthening in the building of the Raleigh, I'm talking about the Raleigh building, done by the end of this year. They're also already looking and ordering windows. So the goal is to have windows installed into the Raleigh building by the end of the year as well. So in the beginning of 2027, interior renovations could start of the building. As you also know, the site, the residential building is in the middle of being reevaluated and really looking for something that makes it more compatible to the 3 L. Murray Dixon buildings nearby. And last week at the planning board, coming to the board in September, last week in the planning board, we went before on an FAR increase, a minor increase of 0.5. It's one of the only large-scale site in that area that is not at 3.15 or 6. We're at 2. And so that application was favorably recommended last week at the planning board. Will be coming to first reading September. One more thing I did want to mention, that outside the Raleigh building, there had been complaints that we were made aware of from residents and through the city, there was a dune crossover behind the Richmond Hotel over to the beach access. It was in disrepair from a previous storm for several years. The new owners went with DEP, got the permits reactivated, and did all the work. So that work was completed by May 1st as well. It was a deadline that FDP gave us so it wouldn't interfere with turtle season. And so that's where we are right now. The work is ongoing. Our goal is if the commission ultimately, and they'll review that in September and October, hopefully. From that point, we're in the midst of redesigning the site to come back to the HPB. It'll have to ultimately go to the Historic Preservation Board at the end to incorporate any of the changes that are being worked on as we speak.
What's going on with through the chair, what's going on with the corner? So you have a number of facades, which, the number of facades that are being held up, but the corner building, the one that is not a facade, but that's actually a building. When can we see, I know you did shoring work to ensure that the structure is stable, but when can we actually see, real full-time restoration work, besides just preserving the structure and the shell of the building, but real active work in advancing the project there?
Well, it's ongoing as we speak, because what's happening now, and part of it is that we had to work with the city and the planning department to be able to shore up the building, to get into some of the terrazzo, to lay in the foundation to be able to handle the shoring.
Okay.
We were stuck at one point where we couldn't do the complete shoring because we needed to go to HPB. We're going to HPB after the fact that we actually briefed the board beforehand, and everyone agreed that this was something that had to be addressed before hurricane season, so that's moving on. But in the Raleigh structure, the tower, which is the one we're talking about, that one, they've already removed, after the shoring was completing, it allows work to start. They removed the penthouse addition. There was a 1990s penthouse addition added to that building that for the last 14 years, and you asked Debbie, has, with multiple owners, always requested it to be removed. It was approved to be removed, but never actually done. It was completed as part of the shoring. When after shoring was completed, they were able to do that work. And right now, they're working on permanent foundation support. So they're not just temporarily bracing the building, they're working on the foundation that they intend to have completed by the end of this year. That's why I said they'll have that completed by the end of this year. They're in the midst of ordering windows for the building, so it could be enclosed completely, also by the end of this year. So by the beginning of next year, the first quarter next year, they could start the interior renovations. Obviously. So that's.
So by beginning of next year, we're going to start to see the interior renovation of the historic structure.
Yes. So that's going at a faster pace than the residential building that's being proposed or the other
Well, that's new construction.
Right, but
The
we're
restoration of the existing building starts January of next year.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Through the chair, I have a question.
Sure.
So will the hotel be open before the new tower is built? Like, how's that going to go?
Well, the goal is to have, as part of the agreement with the HPB that we have, the TCO can't be issued for the new residential building until there's also a TCO for the historic Raleigh, Richmond, South Seas. So the goal is to have them all done around at the same time. It still will be a flagship Rosewood. The Nala Capital has built, actually, they successfully partnered with Rosewood and built the Rosewood in Beverly Hills. And one more point, they've already expended over $5 million in what you've seen there today on that site, just to help get the foundation work started and the shoring. But the goal will be to have the Richmond, Raleigh, and the South Seas all open simultaneously right before they open the residential building, because they're all interconnected.
So it'll be together. So it'll open up together.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Okay, we can close this item? Or you want to continue it?
Yeah, let's continue it it doesn't have to be monthly, but maybe let's do it quarterly.
You said the beginning of next year, you'll start?
Right, well, there's work going on now on all the foundation shoring that has to happen before you could start doing interior work and the windows installed. So that's supposed to be completed by the end of this year. So,
And start the interior restoration
yes,
in January.
yes, sir.
I see Colby shaking his head in the back. Yes.
Up and down. Shake it up and down. All right, Commissioners, it's your item.
Yeah,
How would you like to bring this back?
Let's bring it back next year. And we still have committees next year. We'll bring it back next year.
Okay, I'll second that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the update.
Okay, let's do number 2.
Item number 2 is discuss the creation of a financial incentive program for landlords for the conversion of short-term rental property to long-term leases. This was heard last by the committee at their May meeting. We have provided an update at the May meeting. We were requested to provide more information through the city's housing department as well as economic development. We were able to get some information regarding private funding sources for housing. The departments were not able to identify any local private funding sources, but we did outline some that we have found in other states. Finally, we got some more information about the North Beach CRA and the ability to use money that may be coming in through the CRA for affordable housing. There is a 10% requirement for the TIF funds to be used for affordable and/or workforce housing. So there's several different programs that may be used for, but something specific to incentivizing long-term stays over short-term rentals could potentially be an option. So in summary, staff believes that if a funding source can be identified for this type of program, that it may be successful. But at this point, we do not have a dedicated funding source that's available.
Well, this is Commissioner Blackburn,
And yes,
right?
yes.
Yes. So, we are going to get tons of money coming into the CRA. So I know we're working on a NOAA program with Jason Belisario, and that's work in progress. But in the meanwhile, can we either staff develop or find a model of a CRA program or similar that we could use our CRA funds to help incentivize leases? In addition, like, there are lots of different ways we can use that money. So we could build new things from scratch. We can adaptively reuse and redevelop existing structures. We can help existing structures improve their properties. Is there also an opportunity for CRA funds to be used to supplement rents? And maybe we are precluded from that because it's not a capital investment of some sort. It's not building something new, but it is keeping affordable housing in the hands of the people who need it most. So I would like to have this come back in September, October, and see what exists out there that we could either copy directly or adapt from other CRAs or similar from around the country. There's just going to be so much money coming into that, and we are not limited to 10%. It's just a minimum. And we have some major projects happening in North Beach already, the 72nd Street Aquatic Center and the Byron Carlisle, and all those things are ready. So, if we can find a way to incentivize affordable housing, we could spend 15% of that cash infusion. So let's look at all available options, please, and come back to, look, it's unlikely we're going to get some lovely philanthropist to come say, here's a whole bunch of money to help subsidize affordable housing in North Beach. It's not how we work in this state, certainly not in this part of the state. I would love to be proved wrong on that, by the way. If anybody wants to throw money at that, I'm all ears. But realistically speaking, there's too much wealth on the table to be developed. So Heather, you and your department and whoever else you can bring in, let's give you a little homework assignment over the next couple months and see what you can come back with. And if you need more time than just September, that's fine. If you need more time to come back in October, you tell us.
Thank you, Commissioner. We'll let you know. Heather Shaw, Assistant Director, Economic Development.
Okay. So through the chair, if we can bring this back, September or October, what do you prefer?
Well, we would always appreciate more time, so
Okay, but
October.
then make it really good, okay?
Yes.
Deal?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Come back in October with a bunch of really brilliant ideas.
Okay, so when that comes back, I'd be eager to see what you guys come up with. So we'll move that to October. All right, and then finally, number 3.
Okay, item number 3 is consider amendments to the comprehensive plan and land development regulations to incentivize the abandonment of retail or package sales of alcoholic beverage establishments by business located along Lincoln Road. So this was also sponsored by Commissioner Bott.
I think, if I vaguely remember, this was about 4 or 5 months ago, Commissioner? And we talked to, or I suggested talking to the Ritz because
Yeah,
they would probably be the most invested in this sort of conversion. I don't know if any of that materialized.
I have not, it is not from my office. I don't know if anybody else is. I had meant to ask this to get pushed back, and I did not, so I apologize for that. So if we can defer this or open, continue, whatever the right thing is,
I have a question.
unless Heather, you guys have some updates. I've not yet reached out to the Ritz.
I have a question on this. So, obviously, because of SB 180, we cannot pass any new amendment that would prohibit these uses. When does SB 180 expire?
The first 3-year period expires in 2027,
2027.
but I believe it's October 1 of 2027. But
This is an incentive program though, right?
this
Yes.
is an incentive program,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
Right, but I guess right now, is there a liquor store or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are 4, I think. Whether liquor stores or stores that sell packaged liquor that aren't technically liquor stores. So the idea is, how do we get people to get more compelling tenants out?
Yeah, perhaps the Ritz-Carlton buys out their lease and puts in
A better
another
tenant.
better operator than a packaged liquor store. I think that was the idea, and which I think is a great idea.
How much are the commercial, how much are we generating in tax income from one of these commercial spaces that has these liquor stores?
Heather Shaw, Assistant Director, Economic Development. Thank you, Commissioner, for the question. Right now, I don't know the answer to that. I can definitely find that out and return that.
Why?
What are you
Let me ask
thinking?
Yeah, we need.
No, I mean, I was just wondering, if we enter into some sort of agreement, I think the aesthetics and just the quality of retail that gets attracted when you have a liquor store there. It's not just about the liquor store there. When you see the commercial listings for commercial real estate, they'll tell you this is what's in the proximity of this real estate. And so having these liquor stores is not only affecting the liquor store space, but it'll affect the surrounding spaces as well. So comparable tenants. And so that brings out the area. If we can look at, would it be legal for us to enter into some sort of incentive program where we say, okay, for 3 years, the commercial tax that we collect from that unit, we'll give it back to the property owner as the incentive for them to get rid of that nuisance use. Because they're still able to bring in a different use, a different tenant in there, but now for a certain amount of years, they're just going to get, I don't know if we can call it a reimbursement, but a funding amount, pretty much a tax credit.
So like a tax abatement.
Yeah,
type
like a
of
tax
program.
abatement.
But my understanding, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that we're not able to do that sort of thing.
That's right. I mean, if we wanted to provide a financial incentive, we could do that. It shouldn't be tied to the amount. It doesn't need to be tied to the amount of their property tax.
It's not
And
a
I'm
rob
also-
Peter to pay Paul type of thing.
I'm also trying to find ways to do it without the city picking up the cost for it. I mean, we're going through this whole exercise of line item budget review and trying to trim our costs. I don't want to add additional costs for something if we can get the private market to pick it up. And so I apologize because I let the ball drop on this, and I meant to ask you to defer this to a later meeting, but I did not, so that's on me.
Yeah.
And just for clarity,
I was thinking along the lines, I think I mentioned the last time this came up, the biggest partner there would be the Ritz. Engage
Well,
with
and
them.
frankly, the Paul Sehats project. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
that too.
two big, juicy, good partners with the city who have a vested interest in seeing things improve. So I will reach out to both of them and come back to the committee in a couple of months.
And for clarity, there are two on the 200, 300 block of Lincoln Road, two liquor stores. It's a CVS and a
Five Below?
Walgreens.
And there's another one, Sarah has them committed to memory, I don't remember which, there's, I Love Liquors or something.
There's two of them.
There's two more,
It's
yeah.
just two.
Two of them. There's one in each side of Collins
Thank you.
on, between Lincoln Road.
So, yeah,
So a couple months, you guys come back and
Yeah, sure.
hopefully we have a good plan.
So can I just mention something? I want to use the opportunity. I'm going to use your item to talk about something similar, if the chair allows me to.
go nuts.
But,
All right, let's see what
well,
what do we got here, Alex?
well, the thing is what I was mentioning earlier. When you look at, real estate on Lincoln Road, a lot of times people complain about the quality of the retails, the reason why we're engaging in this exercise. But as part of that conversation, I want to encourage the Economic Development Department to look at the listings, the commercial listings for the real estate that we have on Lincoln Road. And how can we work with the commercial agents? When they look at Lincoln Road, there's a lot of great stuff on Lincoln Road. You have, Mila, and you have a lot of other wonderful high-end establishments that's coming in. But when you see what they're advertising as nearby real estate that's available, they put, or not available, but commercial real estate, say, okay, nearby, this is what we have. We have Denny's, we have Five Guys, we have TD Bank. And so if I am a retail potential tenant of a certain level, and I'm looking at the commercial real estate listings, I'm gonna be like, okay, this is a Lincoln Road address, but the comparable spaces what they're leasing out to is Denny's. They're leasing out to the Cheesecake Factory. Nothing wrong with Cheesecake Factory, by the way. They're leasing out to Five Guys. That's, it's fine, but we can do better. There's so much better to do. So maybe if economic development could work with the commercial agents in making sure that we're empowering them with the best image and the best narrative of Lincoln Road so that we can help them attract a better level of tenants to Lincoln Road, I think is going to help our economy in the
That's a
area.
great point, Commissioner. We'll certainly continue to work with the bid on that as well, because that's, their chair is very firm and active in that space. So that's a really good opportunity to have that conversation.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's it. Meeting adjourned.
This isn't the 44%.